What is going on, SoFi fans? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to give you a quick summary of the data points behind the scenes and potentially something new that might be coming to SoFi Invest. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So the market is mixed. It started off very green. As you can tell, a lot of the major indexes are green, but SoFi has been very much red because I think a lot of people are still very much doubtful about the whole banking being saved and the whole temporary fix, the bailout potentially. That's not called a bailout, of course. But generally speaking, I think SoFi has held its strength over the last couple of days. And as I've said on my last video, SoFi has handled this whole scenario perfectly. And plus, beside the point though, their customers have fairly high FICO scores, kind of limiting the risk as far as that overall recession. And plus, they have no involvement with the Silicon Valley Bank or any of the actual other regional banks as well. So I think in general, SoFi is very well positioned. And as I speak, it looks like it's going back green, but I'm going to give you a good breakdown of everything. So as you can see, starting off, Riley did post this on Twitter, just basically saying that lending or share lending is going to be coming to SoFi Invest. And of course, I think that is very, very good. It's a nice little touch for SoFi to add. And plus it just helps the customer as well. Some individuals like to lend out their shares and just collect some additional premium, which I'll share with you in a second what I mean by that. But in general, I think it might piss off a lot of people as well because there's this whole naked shorting and this whole thing that all stems from retail lending out shares. But that's beside the point. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. But I think in general, this is a good update that should help SoFi definitely. As far as profits from this, I don't know if this will bring any additional revenue. But I could be wrong because I think SoFi is just going to be acting as kind of the middleman a little bit. But so I don't know if there's going to be anything offset for them. But still, no matter what, though, I think that raises the customer experience. And of course, I'll just jump over to shorting because this is obviously very much linked. So when it comes down to SoFi, of course, as I've said in the past, I don't see SoFi having a squeeze, but I like to bring this up because these are the individuals that are very much against SoFi. Short score is currently 65. The higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. Utilization is around 58, so very, very low. And as far as what shorts are doing today, because of course I like to interpret what they're doing as well, they are returning 161 or 162,000 shares. 10% is the short interest right now, which is a percentage of the free float, and 79.25 million shares overall being shorted. So in general, the fact that they are returning shares, being a kind of mixed day and not doubling down is very optimistic. That's how I interpret it, of course. And when it comes down to, for instance, like I just said with share lending, what typically does happen is, for instance, a broker would basically pay you money so they can borrow your shares. So they'll pay you an X amount, and then what they do is they charge shorts a certain amount as well. And that's how the market makers make money. That's how retail makes a small little premium as well. So as you can see right here on SoFi specifically, the cost to borrow average, so that is all the average of all the brokers, they basically are charging 1.39%. So this is someone who wants to short is going to pay 1.39%. So of course, if there is someone who wants to lend out shares, they would basically get charged or get paid maybe 0.5. I'm not really sure, whatever percentage that might be, but that's basically how the whole system works and how someone potentially could benefit from that. So let me know your thoughts on that. Like I said, that's a quick summary of what shorts are doing. So I'll give you some other updates. So as far as specific news, there isn't really anything coming out that is SoFi specific. But there was also CPI that did come out today, on which it did come in line with the forecast. So both the month over month and year over year were in line, so 6% and 0.4%. If you look at the true data right here behind the scenes, based on the month over month, it goes to show the other basket items are in fact going up. So inflation is still very much around. So just be aware of that. That's something for you guys to kind of digest. But when it comes down to this shows right here all the transactions on the secondary market. This is just very low. So it goes to show that big money isn't necessarily buying the dip per se with SoFi. And as you can tell, this is a typical normal day. Even yesterday was a little bit quieter, but this is what normally does happen. So today was and is very quiet. And as far as the dark pool transactions, these are all the transactions so far today. Once again, not necessarily that many as far as quantity for transactions, but I think this is very much linked to shorting. And I'll give you a quick update on as far as options. So options are weird today. So options, for the most part, there's a lot of calls being purchased first thing in the morning. But as you see, this one stands out, and this alone is $2.16 million worth of puts. So someone out there is anticipating by April 21st, SoFi is going to be below $5. So that is kind of crazy. I don't know why they would bet that, but clearly someone is anticipating a very, very big sell-off. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, because this one, when I saw this, it did stand out considerably, of course. And when it comes to, for instance, the data points, it is technically above right now the 50-day moving average, or kind of on it right now. So I think in general, that's a fairly optimistic sign. The 50-day moving average is a very big pivot point. And of course, if it does break below that, then this is probably why some people are betting at that $5 mark, or at least sub $5. And when it comes to these two indicators I like to look at, so momentum, number of retail investors are getting out today. So that's a kind of a weird situation that's happening, clearly coinciding with just the big money. Stochastic as well does have a small deviation, so black line above the red showing a nice bullish sentiment is wanting to form, but it is currently at 17, which is considered very oversold. So behind the scenes, I think SoFi's really spoke for itself based on the earnings. So it does a hell of a job fundamentally. And again, whether it survives a recession or not, that'll be up to you guys. But I think so far, I've really brought up in the past that SoFi's really been good at mitigating a lot of risk. So I think they should be fairly safe. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Let me know your thoughts on SoFi in the comments below. Like I said, I did buy in at, I think it was $5.60 or 70 cents, something like that. That was recently. So I'm pretty happy with that. I did get it fairly cheap. But generally speaking, if it does go below that $5 mark once again based on this, then yeah, I'll definitely be able to buy. And on a side note, since I do have this up, options do not dictate exactly where something is going. This is just more of a sentiment. So once again, let me know your thoughts on all of that. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my SoFi content and want to support the channel, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.